Well, there's one thing that Skullgirls has taught me, and I've never bought a copy of the game in the past, and at present I don't plan to in the future, mainly because of how I heard about this game. But I want to bring up a good point with this. A physical copy of the Encyclopedia Eorzea, a physical book that is very hard to change because it is physical memorabilia. And this goes back to my video I made about physical media being something we need to preserve and cherish. And I think the Skullgirls situation highlights that pretty aptly. It is very difficult to change a physical book once it has been published and once it has been purchased. I would love to see a company like Square Enix try to come to my home, physically yank this book out of my hands, and give me a version that has changes in it that I don't necessarily like changing the artwork of the Garlean Empire because supposedly and hypothetically, like let's say someone deemed it too bad guy from WWII-ish, and they started changing some of the way it's depicted, try to start seeing them as benevolent but misguided. No, that wasn't the Garlean Empire. That wasn't the Allegan Empire. So if you try to change the history to say that that's how they were, despite me playing the game and understanding the true history of the game, I would take offense to that. Just like I honestly am taking a little bit of offense to the censorship being imposed by or Variable Studios in Autumn Games since they took over the stewardship of Skullgirls. Now, I will point out I have never played this game before, but I did not hear about this game until this whole censorship thing. So they say, or basically, this is the standard thing. Skullgirls imagery cleans up its bad guy from WW2 inspired imagery and fan service. Which, sorry, if you're doing that, you're ruining the original art. Screw off. So we're going to look at some of the art here, and thankfully Polygon at least gave us some of the original art to compare here. This is the censored version and the original version. Sorry, but the original version tells a better story of what's going on. Because what I'm seeing here is that there is a fight going on here. She is not worried about what she looks like. She is more worried about, staying alive. That makes sense. And then the paragraph underneath here saying, while a large part of Skullgirls' appeal lies with its cartoonish depiction of women, like cheesecake pinup models, a detailed veer from simply off-color to inappropriate. Who deems that inappropriate? Because this is also a Japanese game, meaning Japanese cultural tropes will come into play in this game most of the time. Not to mention, it's pure fiction. Nothing about this is real life. Something you journalists and the Twitter freaks seem to not be able to comprehend. Philly is a 16-year-old schoolgirl, a fictional schoolgirl, I might add, but much of her artwork includes either sneaky or blatant panty shots, which in a combat scenario, I'm pretty sure a panty shot is not going to be on anybody's mind because you're in a fight for your life, you're trying to live. Why not understand that this is also fiction? So a lot of real life standards will go out the window. And I'm not saying that I'm going to go like, oh, panty shot. No. Real people do not do this. Real people do not instantly go gaga over that kind of artwork. It's nice to look at. It's nice to fantasize a little bit, but that's as far as it might go for any person reasonably. There's a stray thought here and there, but they're not going to sit there and play a game and pause on a specific shot just to go, oh, look at that. Like, no. Real people do not work that way. I don't know where you get this idea, Polygon, but y'all really need to get some mental help if that's how you think that most people think. Like, no. In the patch released in 2015, toned down these elements somewhat, but the recent update goes a step further. This was another going from white to black, or in some cases removing the painting shot altogether, which shouldn't have been done. If you're turning it down a 10, like changing the color, that's one thing. But if you're changing the actual art like this, no, that's changing the original art by the original artist, who I believe was mentioned in this article. But and then there is this removing the bad guy from WW2 imagery, which this is the original shot here, as you can see. They're acting like the bad guys from WW2 were the only ones that ever wore the color red or had armbands. And we'll change. We'll go to the censored version. Yep, and they're removing the armbands and changing the flag to the color black. No, was that the only thing? Oh, oh yeah, they removed all the red armbands. But really, were they the only ones who ever used red armbands in history before or after? I'm pretty sure that's not the case. Oh, another changes, toning down the depictions of racial violence in Big Bang Story. Why not leave that in there? It's telling a story on why it's bad. That's why it's in the story. They're removing hair picks. Have you ever tried to manage thick hair? You kind of need to have those things. And it wasn't uncommon to have those things with you at all times, so she never knew when he was going to have to fix something. Believe me, or having thick hair sucks. That's why I keep my hair short in real life. Now, several illustrations from the game's guest story gallery. You shouldn't be censoring that at all. It would be like censoring the book we started off the video with. It just ain't going to fly for the customer who bought it. Removing the Soviet or voice pack. Why did they do that? That makes no sense. It's a voice pack. Is that really going to change the fundamental nature of the game? No. Is it going to change the story? No. Replacing the name of the 18-hit combo fanfare from barely legal to spiffy. Really? Why? Nothing but censorship. There's no reason to change it otherwise. But now we're going to go to Steam, look at the Steam reviews. And as you can see, this is with the off-topic change, or as you can see at the time of review, we're looking at almost 6,000 negative reviews in the past several weeks. That is no coincidence, or Hidden Variable Studios. So let's turn it back on to see what it looks like without these, just for comparison's sake. 46 very positive reviews compared in the last 3 weeks. Call me crazy, Steam, but this is censorship. Steam, you should not be or facilitating this. But if you are going to remove off-topic reviews, then the generic, like, okay, this is not very helpful. Try to look up the account of this game just found hentai. Not very helpful, but funny. And this game is yeah, that is probably a negative review because of the censorship, but it's got to be deemed positive, or because if it was negative, it would have got automatically flagged by the publisher that acquired the game. You can rickroll people with a trumpet. No, that's what I kind of feel like the censorship is a rickroll. Big band only hot character. Okay, so like if you're gonna remove negative reviews, then reviews like these should be removed too. That are just stupid reviews. Has female soul bad guy? Oh, what really? Uh, that's actually a decent review, but so you get my point though. If you're gonna take negative reviews out, you need to be taking positive reviews out too that are not helpful. Because frankly, I find some of these recent posts here to be a lot more helpful than some of those quote unquote positive reviews. And even though I cannot read this one, so if you can translate this, please leave it in the comments below. I would love to know what this says. But I'm guessing this is a Latin American language, and I'm pretty sure it's not a positive one, even though it says positive. Censura, or that to me says censor. In non-issue. I'm guessing this person's thinking the censorship was of non-issues, and he is not happy about it, or she. I don't know. I don't know who this person is, obviously, but I'm guessing they're not happy about it either. So please let me know what you think in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. And personally, I'm tired of seeing the censorship. Let the artists in the game speak for themselves, and the publishers, it's not your job to censor stuff that you require. That was published years ago. It is only your job to shepherd it and keep it going and sell copies of it. And with that, I will see you all in the next video.